So the position of women, status of women in India, uh, under the British Raj, many social religious for reformers like Raja Raman Rai, Dayanand Saraswati, and Keshav Chandra Sen, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, Pandit Ramabai, Muthulakshmi Ammayar, Jyotirao Phule, Periyar, Dr. Dharmabal were the prominent leaders who fought for the upliftment of women. Rajaram led to the efforts led to the abolishment of sati in 1829. Uh, uh, Vidyasagar's improvement in condition of crusade and improvement in the condition of widows led to the passing of Widow Marriage Act in 1856. In ancient Indian civilization, the evidences show the worship of Mother Goddess. During the Rigvedic wave, it is believed that the position of wife was honored and woman's position was acknowledged. During later uh, Vedic village, the status of woman restricted whole in the social life except in the performance of religious services. As her social and political freedom was restricted, sati became popular during the later Vedic period, where the widows either chose for themselves or were forced to jump into the pair of husbands. In the medieval period, the position of women in society further deteriorated. The evils such as the child marriages, female infanticide, and slavery was common. Normally, monogamy was practiced, but among the rich, polygamy was prevalent. Sati was in practice, particularly among the royal and upper strata of the society. Widow remarriage was rare. Devadasi system was in practice uh, in some parts of India. Then, among the Rajputs of Rajasthan, the Jauhar was practiced, and the condition of widow became miserable. Jauhar refers to the practice of collective voluntary immolation by wives and daughters of defeated Rajput warriors in order to avoid capture and dishonor. The Christian missionaries were the first to set up the Calcutta Female Juvenile Society in 1819. The Bethune School was founded in 1849 by J. E. D. Bethune, who was the president of the Council of Education in Calcutta. Charles Wood's dispatch on education in 1854 laid great stress on the need for female education. Indian Education Commission, Hunter Commission recommended in Indian Education Commission, Hunter Commission, Indian Education Commission, Hunter Commission, Indian Education Commission, Hunter Commission recommended the need for start primary girls school for girls and teacher training institutions. Indian Education Commission, Indian Education Commission, uh, Indian Education Commission, um, Indian Education Commission uh, uh, gave the need under commission in 1882. In 1882, recommended to start primary school for girls. Recommended to start a primary school for girls recommended to start the primary school for girls. Recommended to start primary school for girls. Indian Education Commission 1882 recommended to start primary education for girls in schools. Primary education for girls in schools and also for teacher training. Primary education for girls in schools and also for teacher training in Indian Hunter Commission, Education Commission in 1882. Laid the stress for recommended to start primary school for girls and also for teacher training and suggested special scholarships and prizes for girls. In 1880s, Indian women began to enter universities. They are also trained to become doctors and teachers. They began to write books and magazines. In 1914, the Women's Medical Service did a lot of work in training midwives. In 1890s, D.K. Karve established a number of female schools in Pune. Professor D.K. Karve Pandita Ramabai made sincere effort to emancipate women through the education was really remarkable. The Indian Women's University was started by Professor D.K. Karve in 1916. The Indian Women's University was the Indian Women's University. The Indian Women's University was started by D.K. Karve in 1916. The Indian Women's Society was started by D.K. Karve in 1916. The Indian Women's Society was started by D.K. Karve in 1916. The Indian Women's Society was started by D.K. Karve Professor D.K. Karve in 1916. The Indian Women's University was started by D.K. Karve in 1916. The Indian Women's University was started by D.K. Karve in 1916. In the same year, Lady Hardinge Medical College was started in Delhi. In the same year, Lady Hardinge Medical College was started in Delhi. In the same year, Lady Hardinge Medical College was started in Delhi. Major social evils: female infanticide was another inhuman practice affecting the 19th century Indian society. It was particularly in vogue in Rajputana, Punjab and northwestern provinces. It was mainly to avoid economic burden. 1846, the minimum marriageable age of girls was only 10 years. The Native Marriage Act was passed in 1872. It fixed the minimum marriageable age of girls in 40 and boys at 18. In 1930, the Central Legislative Assembly passed the Roy Saheb Harbilas Sarada's Child Marriage Bill, fixing the minimum marriageable age for boys at 18 and 14 for girls. It was later amended to 18 for girls and 21 for boys, according to the Hindu Marriage Act 1955. So in 1930, the Central Legislative Assembly passed the according to the Native Marriage Act, which was passed in 1872, the Native Marriage Act was passed in 1872. 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 It fixed the minimum marriageable age for girls at 14 and boys at 18. Minimum marriageable age for girls at 14 and boys at 18. Marriage age for girls at 14 and boys at 18. According to the Native Marriage Act, the minimum marriage age for girls was at 14 and boys at 18. In 1930, the Central Legislative Assembly passed the Rai Sahab Harbila Sardas Child Marriage Bill, fixing the minimum marriage age for boys at 18 and 14 for girls. It was later amended to 18 for girls and 21 for boys according to Hindu Marriage Act 1955. In 1930, the Sarada Act was passed by the Central Legislative Assembly. Sarada Act was passed by the Central Legislative Assembly, which fixed the marriageable age for the girls at 14 and boys at 18. The Sarada Act was passed. The Sarada Act was passed, which fixed the marriageable age for girls, which fixed the marriageable age for girls at 14 and boys at 18. In 1930, the Sarada Act was passed, which fixed the marriageable age for girls at 14 and boys at 18. It was later amended by the Hindu Marriage Act. It was later amended by the Hindu Marriage Act, which leaves the girls at 18 and boys at 21. The sati was abolished by a bill implementing the recommendation of the efforts from Rajara Mohan Roy in 1829. It was the regulation 17 of December 4, 1829, declaring the practice of satya or burying alive the widow of Hindus illegal and punishable by criminal courts. Devadasi system or the servant of God, dancing girl, dedicated to service of God in a temple. Devadasi system was a social evil. Muthulakshmi Ammayar, as the first woman doctor, advocated for the abolishing of Devadasi system.